Today we're going to be making the best scalloped potatoes you have ever put in your mouth on Flavorsville. I don't know if you've ever had homemade scalloped potatoes, but I can guarantee you there is no box today. We're going to be making them from scratch, and I can promise you they will be absolutely fantastic. The key to this is to slice your potatoes thin, less than 1/4 of an inch and no more than 1/8 of an inch. Same way with the onions, slice them very thin as well. Ingredients, of course, potatoes, onions, as we've already talked, about 1.5 sticks of butter, kosher salt, pepper, flour, whole milk, and of course pan release spray for the pan. So that's where we're going to start. You simply spray the pan and then just start layering your ingredients. So we're going to start with the potatoes, and I put them in an ice bath to keep them from turning brown, and then you just layer them. Okay, then you take your flour and you just dust the top of the onions and the potatoes. Just like so. Alright, then I take a little pepper. Kosher salt. And then you layer some tabs of butter. I know what I forgot. I forgot my cheese. Certainly can't make scalloped potatoes without cheese. If I can open it all. Okay, then another layer. Just keep layering until you get to the top. We're going to do 3 layers today, but you can do more if your pan is deep enough. Then we're going to fill the pan halfway with milk. And as I said earlier, I'm using whole milk. Now, if you have a clear glass pan, it's much easier to know when you're halfway there. But I'm just going to guess. Okay, so now we're ready for the oven. While that's in the oven, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the Flavorsville channel if you like what you saw today. Also, don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll get notifications whenever I post a new video. And leave me your comments. I'm really interested in how your recipe turns out. And you can always add things to it. You know, I just use salt and pepper. You know, you can certainly add some garlic powder. You can add more cheese. You can do whatever you want. Use a different kind of cheese. I use sharp cheddar, and the reason I do that is because that's the way my dad always made it. But you know, be creative. Do whatever you want. If you really want to make it decadent, then go ahead and add some half and half instead of milk. It makes it even richer and creamier. Also, you can follow me on my social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want the complete recipe, go to Flavorsville.com, where I post all my recipes. I post links to my videos. You can get anywhere and everywhere straight from my website. We're going to let that bake for an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. So we're getting ready for the hardest part, and that's just waiting for it to get done. If your cheese gets a little bit too brown, then just tin it with a little aluminum foil and you'll be just fine. We have guests coming over for dinner tonight, so I baked a smaller version of the same thing so we can see what it tastes like. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's nothing but potato, cheesy goodness right there. The red potatoes add sweetness to the dish. My dad always used regular bacon potatoes, but I prefer the red. But you can use any kind of potato you want. But I mean, it's just so cheesy. And it looked like I put a ton of onions in there, but they cooked down. And I mean, it's just fabulous. And it's just so simple to make. So my question to you is why use a box recipe to make scalloped potatoes when you saw how easy and fast this is to put together? The thing that takes the longest, of course, is cutting the potatoes and the onions, but really that doesn't take a whole lot of time either. So, you know, whenever you can make fresh, you know, I recommend that's what you do. Your family will certainly appreciate it, and so will your guests. Well, that's it for today, but like I always say, get in the kitchen and rock some flavor.